It's time once again for the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from Northwest Community Television. Thanks for joining us. In the next half hour, a look back at the most recent council meeting and a look at many things happening in the city of Maple Grove. All next on the Maple Grove City Report. And thanks again for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report, joined by City Administrator Al Madsen. Welcome again, Al.
Thank you, Dave.
We've got a meeting that was about 1 hour to update you on, or a little more than an hour, and some fun things that went on that had a packed house. So we'll tell you about that. But before we get there, a lot happening, as always, in Maple Grove. Give us the latest update. What should people know about Maple Grove these days?
Well, the next phase of 610 is under construction. We had a groundbreaking last week. But I do want people to realize this isn't the final stage. We still have some additional work to do, but this is a big link that gets it from where it ended over to the freeway to I-94. But there's still a lot of work that has to be done with the offshoot roads and some work on the interchange. There's still probably $45 million that's going to be needed to totally finish 610 100%. A third of that would come from the feds, a third from the county, and probably a third from the city, because we've been assessing properties out there. We've been saving money, knowing that we would have to participate in that last short element. So, but it was a nice outpouring of officials, and appreciate the governor was there. Governor was instrumental in helping us get the Corridor of Commerce money for that. And so it's an $80 million project right now, and then we're hoping somewhere in the not too distant future we'll get some 45 million, maybe 40 million, but so it's been a long process.
Yes, it has been just a few years. So explain to the viewers what this phase will be and what the time frame is, because it again goes from where it ends near Elm Creek Boulevard out to the freeway 94, and there will be a few connections there. So what will those connections be, and what's the time frame on it?
There will be a few connections, Maple Grove Parkway, things like that, the 105th area. Time frame is they're not really going to be doing a lot of work yet this year.
Okay.
They'll be doing some site work, earth moving and things like that. But the real brunt of it, construction, is going to happen in the spring of 2015. They're predicting probably by, I'd say, late fall of 2017 to have it completed. It's a 2-year project now. A lot of that, again, depends on weather. If the weather is like it was on the day of the groundbreaking, wow, it was fantastic. So
that would be nice.
Right. So it's a great link to get it to 94. It certainly is. It's proven to be highly beneficial. If let's say you're on Elm Creek Boulevard and you exit on 610 and you want to head east, and that cuts off a lot of travel time.
Yes.
Versus taking the other freeways, 94 and 694 and things like that. So it's a long process, but I always say in somebody's lifetime it'll be done, and hopefully in mine it'll be done. So.
What does this mean now that this ground has been broken for business opportunities along that stretch? Does that start the ball rolling in any other departments at the City of Maple Grove, or further conversations that maybe already have been started with businesses that now say, okay, I see you are really going to complete this road?
Right. We have had conversations with potential businesses. Obviously, we've had conversations with landowners. We have our comprehensive land use plan that anticipates different types of land uses along that corridor. Clearly, yes, now that it's started, I think people are going to start to take a serious look at businesses along that corridor. You know, it happened in Brooklyn Park when 610 came across the north part of Brooklyn Park. And so now it's our turn, and it's going to happen in Maple Grove. But we have had ongoing conversations with landowners who now say, maybe it's time for, you know, to seriously put their land up for sale. Developers that have expressed an interest, not ready yet to pull the plug on something, but, you know, have expressed an interest. So, yeah, it's going to open up, I think, some real strong possibilities.
All right. So sounds like something for us to cover for the next 2 years as this process moves along, and then we'll keep our ear out for that extra 45 million that hopefully comes down the road.
Yeah, I've been with the city going on 32 years, and we were talking about it then.
Day one.
Yes, yes.
It was on your agenda, your to-do list, maybe?
Yeah, my to-do list. Yeah, all of us, you know, Jerry Butcher and Ken Asheville and you know, the mayor back then and the councils, and so it's been on everybody's to-do list.
Isn't that something?
We keep chipping away.
All right, we'll keep you updated on that. What else is new in Maple Grove?
Just to let folks know that we've been doing a tree inventory because the emerald ash borer is not in Maple Grove, but we just need to be prepared. And how many ash trees do we have? We have a lot of volunteers that have been very, very gracious with their time to go out and inventory the types of trees. And right now, I think they've inventoried a little over 10,000 in the last 2 years. But we still have quite a few to inventory. But the purpose is to you know, get a handle on how many ash trees do we have.
Right.
Because if that emerald ash borer does decide to knock on our door, we need to be prepared. So it's not here yet, and we're hoping that it won't. So.
And this is just on city property that they're counting the trees? So
Correct.
that 10,000 plus the many more to come,
Right.
just in city-owned land?
Right, all along our boulevards and, you know, things like that. So, yeah, we don't go on individuals' private property.
Right.
If they ask us to, we usually would say no. We'll let that up to a private forester to do that. But that's taking a look at all of our. It's amazing. You know, I know we have a lot of trees in town, but when you stop and think about, we got over 10,000 just our trees, so to speak. It's much larger than I thought.
So do you still need volunteers, and
Oh,
when
yes.
does the next wave go out?
Really nothing more that'll be done this year, probably the spring of 2015. They'll crank it up again, and I think there's information on our website that people can go to if they're interested, and we certainly would appreciate additional help too. So.
All right, we'll put that in the back of our mind too, to remind you as we get to March and April.
Right, yep.
Seems a long way away.
It really does. One thing is, well, we're doing repairs on our geothermal heating cooling system. And in the lake behind the government center, we have 15 platforms submerged with the coils. And we had a problem with one of those platforms. And so we have been working to get it raised up. It's a project that's going a little slower than what we anticipated, but a couple of days ago, our crew was out there working, and we had, just to be on the safe side, we have one of our Maple Grove Fire Rescue boats that was just kind of circling around. I had some folks call that walked the trail.
Can imagine.
And we had a lot of walkers around that trail, but they thought we were dragging for a body. Not the case.
Okay,
No,
good.
totally not the case. We're working on that geothermal heating system that's submerged under there. And the purpose of the boat was just to be on the safe side because there's a lot of crew down there working. So anyway, and we've had divers.
Okay,
that have been
so
under
hopefully within the next month or so, this will be completed?
Hopefully much sooner than that.
Okay,
I was
before
hoping,
ice gets on that lake?
True, I was hoping it would have been completed a couple of days ago, but again, we ran into difficulties in getting the platform to raise up. And there's 3 platforms next to each other, and during the last 14 years, part of one of the platforms shifted a little bit and caught on to the platform that we're trying to raise. That's where the issue is with that one platform.
Sure.
You know, Murphy's Law. You know,
Right.
It's just, but we're working on it. We'll get it done. But we're not dragging
good.
for
All
bodies.
right, that's good information.
For those that are interested, go over by the dome. We're starting to inflate the dome. It's an interesting process. It's just kind of cool watching it. The dome should be inflated, and again, depending on weather, but should be inflated by November 1st.
Okay.
So those that want to see a dome going up in action, yeah, pop over there. It's, right on the other side of the senior high school, so.
And for people that are new to town, they might think, well, that's just for the high school, but not the case at
No,
all. Tell
no,
us
no.
about the opportunities for residents to use that space.
Great opportunities. Yes, it's for, the various sports organizations, but if people want to go and walk inside there, we keep it, I think, at about 55 or something like that.
Sure.
But, it's 20 below outside, going into 55 degrees sounds like an oven. So they can go in there and they can walk inside there as long as they want.
Very
So
good.
it's a great opportunity.
And as I understand, there's some limited opportunities for people to rent the facility as well. So
There
if
is.
a group wanted to rent it for some purpose,
Just
there's lots
turn-
of teams in there, obviously,
yes,
that rent
right.
it as well.
Right.
But they could go through the city to do that?
Yes, contact our Park and Rec department
Okay.
if they want to do that.
Very good.
Absolutely right, Yep, for sure. Couple other things, the farmer's market, we talk about that all the time. The last outside farmer's market is this Thursday, October 23.
Okay.
And we encourage kids to come dressed in their Halloween costumes and
Nice.
things like that. Then we move inside, and we will have an inside farmer's market for the months of November and December, and we have had those in the past.
Right.
The dates for the inside will be November 6 and 20 and December 4 and 18. Now we're going to expand it. We're going to have another inside farmers market in January, on January 15th, one on February 19th, and one on March 19th.
Very
So
nice.
the farmers market has been just such a tremendous success that the need to throw a couple more out there, and inside the community center works out very, very well. So,
Right.
so that just continues to go. Just a tremendous, tremendous opportunity for folks. Sky at Arbor Lakes, they had ribbon cutting for a portion of their apartment project, and that's moving along well. Silver Creek on Main, which is the senior housing right across from Lifetime Fitness.
Right.
It's amazing how fast that is going up, absolutely amazing. And so that's come along very, very well. Bottineau Ridge, which is the multi-story apartment, affordable housing apartment project at Hemlock and Arbor Lakes Parkway, is fully occupied. Took a tour of it. It's just a great facility. And John Duffy, the developer, I'm meeting with him at the Historical Museum to go through all of our volumes of pictures, old-time pictures, and he wants to make copies, and then he'll frame those and hang them inside his Bottineau
nice.
Ridge apartment building on display. So that'll be great. Be very nice.
And in the middle of all of that area, the Central Park process continues to
Yes, it
go.
does.
Tell us about that. What are we moving as far as earth now, and is anything starting to pop up out of the ground?
Well, you see a lot of grass starting to pop up.
That's
because
good.
we seeded an
Okay.
area, and that's coming up very, very well. Mostly our earthwork is done.
Right.
You're starting to see, I think, more things that are starting to look more than like just a bare piece of land. So that's come along well. I would say spring of 2015 is when it's really going to be there.
Okay.
So, and that'll be a great opportunity. The one thing I need to point out to our viewers is Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee
Right.
grocery store was originally thought to be a part of the proposed point at Arbor Lakes, which was an Opus project.
Right.
It was removed from that. I received calls and emails from people that either ask why, because they want a Hy-Vee, or they're happy that it was removed. But the important thing for people to realize is that the city council did not make a decision to pull out Hy-Vee. They're not against Hy-Vee because we're continuing to work with them on a couple of other sites in the city.
Okay.
And they'd like to be in the city in the next 2 years, but it's a land use issue. That particular parcel is guided for non-retail. And what this would have been is retail, and so it really was a land use issue, not the use itself. But,
Okay.
And we just had a meeting with folks representing Hy-Vee, and so we've got other sites that that they are seriously looking at. So I think we'll see a Hy-Vee in Maple Grove sometime in the next 2 years. So.
And Opus continues to look at that site, obviously, and where are they on their plans and thoughts for what that corner could turn into?
They do. It's comprised of about 110,000 square feet of retail, a hotel, restaurants, a small office pad on the north, an office showroom on the north. It was reviewed by the Planning Commission at their last meeting. It was tabled. There's a number of concerns and questions that the Planning Commission had. So I really do not expect that to come back to the Planning Commission for maybe until I'm thinking second week in November.
Okay.
So staff continues to work with our Opus to tweak it.
Just to clarify then, the type of retail that Opus is looking for to go in there is different than the type of retail that Hy-Vee would have been. Is that
Correct?
Okay, there are different levels, if you will,
Right.
of retail that could be in a particular land use.
Yeah, Opus is, instead of the Hy-Vee, which is the grocery store, which is gone, they're looking at 110,000 square foot building, but it would be multi-tenant. And so it would be users that are not already in Maple Grove.
Right, okay.
But there still is that question mark. It's guided non-retail. And so they still want to have some retail. So the Planning Commission and the Council is going to have to determine just how flexible we can be in adjusting our land use plan.
What is the level of retail that is potentially necessary for that corner with all the retail that is there already?
Well, probably zero. If you're going to follow the strict guidelines
Sure.
of our land use plan, which says non-retail. Now, maybe there can be some small amount of retail, whatever that number might be.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
We consider restaurants to be retail. Typically, developers do not. The hotel, we don't necessarily see that as retail. We
Okay.
see that as service. And then on the north parcel, it's like I said, a office showroom building,
Right.
a sizable one, 170,000 square feet. But it is along the eastern part, and there's residential on on the other side.
Right.
So the Planning Commission was a little bit concerned about that, and maybe looking about maybe shifting that building maybe further to the west, so there can be a nice buffer between that building and
Sure.
the residential. So
Okay.
it's a work in progress.
Very good. We will keep you up to date on that as things continue to develop through the
we
city.
keep tweaking it. So
Okay.
just a few other things. Just quickly go through my notes here. Houlihan's is closed.
Yes.
And this past Monday night at the council meeting, we did look at a development plan, a concept and development plan for a 12,200 square foot retail building that'd be probably maybe 3 users in there. Houlihan's will be demolished. Developer will come in and develop a new building. The council had concerns with the looks of the building. And so they did table it, asking staff to work with the developer to, some of the concerns were the roofs just seems so flat. Maybe they can add some parapets to kind of break up that flat look. Then there was the issue of maybe some of the landscaping needs to be seriously taken a look at. They were not serious issues, but the council just felt that they wanted to have more answers. And so my assumption is at the next council meeting, it will come back
Okay.
for the review by the council again. So
Are there users that they're already discussing, publicizing, or is that still another step in the process?
well, it's another step. We've been advised that they do not have any users at this time.
Okay.
But there may be, and I know that the developer has until the end of November to fulfill his option to acquire that parcel.
Okay.
So the approval at the next meeting certainly will be critical. Otherwise, it'd be the second meeting in November, but because the developer is not going to pull the plug on buying it until they get the approval from
Sure.
the city. So
Okay.
anyway, another thing is that there were over 300 cities that were surveyed by an organization, Safe Home Security, SafeChoiceSecurity.com. Of the over 300 cities, Maple Grove ranked number 21 as the safest city.
Very
One
good.
of the 21st
Congratulations.
safest city in Minnesota. And as Carol talked about, and
Yes.
Money Magazine, Maple Grove was selected as the second best place in America to live. Speaks well for the city. It says that we're doing things right. And in fact, there's 12 graduate students from Hamlin University that are going to be coming here on November 13 for a meeting with myself and the community development folks, and then we'll provide them a tour of the city. As their professor says, here's a community that is doing things right. And so he wants his students to come out and just see it in person and talk to us that have been involved. And so we're happy. It's
Very good.
second best in America.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a great, great honor. And we went from 2 years ago, we were 22, and we went down to second now, and that's a tremendous, tremendous leap. But we're thrilled.
Right.
So,
Congratulations.
there was one thing to comment on Monday, October 27, from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Maple Grove Senior High. There will be a forum called Heroin Town Hall. This is put on by the Hennepin County Sheriff's Department. And again, this is at the Maple Grove Senior High, 6:30 to 8 p.m. And so I would urge parents, adults, educators, concerned citizens to attend it. It's, as I say, it's called Heroin Town Hall, and it's talking about, talking about the use of heroin. And so I'd encourage people, if they have an interest, to go over to the senior high and be a great opportunity.
And it's something that the sheriff's office is doing in quite a few communities throughout the metro area, as I understand it. So again, trying to get this information out to as many people as possible.
Right, absolutely right. Yeah, this is put on by the Sheriff's Department. The recent council meeting was very upbeat. We had a packed house, standing room only. And we're very thrilled because it involved the swearing in of 3 new police officers. And so we had lots of their family there, friends, neighbors, you name it, were there. And so we did swear in 3 new police officers. And then also with that same evening, we introduced our new police captain, Dan Wills. Dan's been with us 16 years. He started out as an officer, then became a sergeant, then became a captain. Very, 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 very good officer. He's going to do very well as our captain. So we're very thrilled about that. So we were just very happy with the turnout of folks. As I said, a lot of officers and many, many officers. And someone commented to me that room was probably the safest room to be in that particular night, because it was filled with police officers and family members. They pinned the badges on the new officers. And so,
did you talk them all into staying for the entire agenda?
We did let them go.
Okay.
We let because the
what
mayor,
a nice guy.
Yeah, the mayor said, let's just take a few minute break.
Sure.
And everybody can leave. And so, but they all congregated out in the hall and continued,
Very nice.
their social activities out there. So, the police officers are Timothy Condon, Aaron Valerius, and Mary Cathan. They're just, they're energetic. When they come by to shake the hand and we congratulate them, you always want to ask them, can I see your driver's license? Exactly how old are you? It's just, I'm getting older, but yeah.
And they're getting younger.
And they're getting younger, for sure. And then Dan Wells. So Dan is just going to, I know, do an excellent job for us as captain.
Very good.
We did approve the drawdown of Rice Lake. We do that, we haven't done it for a few years, but we do that to take care of all those invasive, noxious weeds that are in there to help lake quality. We'll probably start the drawdown on Friday, which would be the 24th, I guess, of October. Takes about a month, and so if people see Rice Lake starting to shrink, well, it's on purpose.
Okay.
And then we're doing it intentionally. And again, is to take care of the tremendous amount of noxious weeds that are in there. We did approve the Lazy Boy home furnishing store, which is going in the fountains at Arbor Lakes. We had some public hearings on assessments, various different development projects. Those were really no-brainers, just a few minutes on each one.
Okay.
And then we have public hearing for our delinquent weed folks. It's interesting, we have to have a public hearing for delinquent weeds and delinquent utilities. If someone allows their weeds just to grow and grow and grow, then we go out and we mow it and then assess it against the property.
Right.
And same with utilities. You have a number of people that either have sold their home or they've moved and their home is vacant, but there still is an outstanding utility bill, whatever the case may be. And so the list shrinks. So from the first time we come up with a list of folks that are delinquent for either weed cutting or delinquent utilities, once they're notified, and they're all notified by
Right.
certified letter, the list really starts to shrink. And so when the public hearing does come, the list is drastically less.
Good.
So, but we are required to have a public hearing on that. So, we did set a special city council meeting for 6:30 on Monday, November 3rd. Purpose is to take one final look at the 2015 budget before it comes to the formal public hearing on December 1st, city council meeting. So the November 3rd, 6:30 special council meeting will be strictly just to take one final look at that proposed budget. And then, again, the formal hearing will be on December 1st. So
Okay.
that was it. Meeting got over at 8:20. It was just a real nice, smooth meeting. Everything went well. And
Very nice.
you look out there and you see just, dozens and dozens of people that are just beaming, and they're just very, very excited about their city. So.
It's how you love to see a council meeting go,
without a
right?
doubt, yes.
We have
For
just
sure.
a couple minutes left. We should, as we're in mid to late October as we tape this, talk quickly about the election, just to remind people. Election day coming up on November 4th. A few reminders for people in Maple Grove. If they don't know where their precinct is, what's the process?
Contact the government center.
Okay.
We have maps that we can provide. You can go to our website. Also, if people want to vote absentee, they certainly can, because the law now does not
Right.
require you to have an excuse. You don't have to say, I think I'm going to have a cold on November 4th. And so they can come to the government center, second level of the government center, and they can vote absentee.
Right.
Surprising, it's being a little slower than what we anticipated, but it is starting to creep up. But and then those that are campaigning, just a reminder, please keep your signs out of the city right away. Make sure you don't place them where there's a site visibility problem.
Sure.
And in a number of cases, don't put them on people's property without asking.
Probably not a
So,
good idea,
It
right?
clearly is not. If you're looking for a vote, don't do that.
Any
So-
changes in any of the precinct boundaries or precinct voting locations this year? I know there have been some in the past, but I haven't really heard about many this year.
No, we still have 23 precincts. They're
Okay.
the same as before. I would sense that maybe in the next election, 2 years from now, we may find it necessary to add 1 or 2 precincts.
Okay.
But for now, no, everything is the same.
All
So,
right. Final minute we have left, a few buildings that are popping up or changing around town that I know a couple people have asked me, what is that? The old Champs location is moving along, and that is going to be?
That's going to be I guess what I would call a very high-quality car wash.
Okay.
It's not a self-service. It's supposed to have the longest tube, so to speak, for a
Okay.
car to go through of almost 150 feet. But that'll be a car wash, and then there'll be also a retail building there as well.
Okay, and timing on that is,
That's under construction now.
so it might be open this winter?
It could very well be open. I
Okay.
would say later this winter, yes.
And then over in the Fountains area, I know people have seen a few buildings going up there. We've got two, one on the Costco side.
There's
That's Freddy's, right?
Freddy's Yogurt and Steak Burger.
Okay.
That's under construction. Timing on that one, I'm not sure.
Okay.
And the other building that's under construction is an office building,
Okay.
a dental office building.
Very good. Al, thanks again for your time. Appreciate
you,
it.
Dave. Good
Talk
to
to you
be
again
here.
soon.
Thank you.
Let's leave you with the next council meeting date and also some contact information if you want to find out more about many of the items we talked about, maplegrovemn.gov. Next meeting will be on Monday, November 3rd at 7:30 at the Government Center, 494-6000, the number to call to the Government Center. And if you have questions or comments, our viewer response line is 533-1710. You can give us a call and we'll try to answer your question on the program. For Al Madsen, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report.